Hello, everybody. I'm personally a little nervous today because I'm all set up. I'm ready to go, and my mouse is missing. So put up with me. I'm going to do the best I can. This evening, I thought about how I was going to approach all of you. And summer social days was the conversation that I had most of the week. And it was an extremely enlightening week from people. The summer social days, for those of you who are not familiar with it, allows us 2 days a week where we can act basically in a normal food process, accepting the fact that we will to some extent impact upon our weight loss, but at the same time giving us social days. And with summer coming, Father's Day, warm weather, beach activities, the world opening up, I had some very, very interesting conversations with people. And the most interesting thing that I had, as far as feedback is concerned, is the amount of guilt expressed by people who were doing what it is they felt they wanted to do. Now, we're all here to wait to lose weight. Summer is here. I'm excited. I'd like to do things. And social is a very important kind of thing. The Summer Social Days program allows me some alcohol, some food, some entertainment. And here's the very interesting thing, Dr. Schwartz. I feel so guilty. Help me understand. What is it you mean by guilty? Well, number one, I cheated. Okay, now when you say you cheated, what does that mean? Now, first and foremost, we're saying that something bad has happened. Now, if I make a decision and I'm willing to live with that decision, and no one else is involved with that decision, how could that decision make me feel guilty, as though I'm a bad person? Look what I did. It was a beautiful weekend. I wanted to indulge. I looked at the summer protocol. I ate. I had a drink. I did it 2 days in a row. I went back to my program. Some people lost 2-3 pounds. Some people lost nothing. Some people gained maybe a pound and a half. But the majority of people whom I spoke to basically stayed the same after the weekend. And here they are saying to me, I feel guilty. Now, what does that mean? The guilt was against whom? I made the decision. I fulfilled the decision. I had a good time. I enjoyed myself. It made me feel good to be so. I chose to do it. So what should I do? I should punish myself for making a decision that I had every right to make because I'm here for me. And this is the key that we are talking about and the key that we have to look at because we're never going to succeed on a long-term basis until we face the reality. Now, what's the reality? I want to lose weight. But, now remember what I've told you in the past. But is a very interesting word. It erases everything that went before it. For example, the one I like the most. I love you, but. Now, if I love you, but, do I love you? And the answer is only if you meet my conditions. Now, is that love or is it something else? Now, the summer social days allow you a freedom that will serve you not only for today, but into the future. Now, let's take a look at it. To begin with, if I feel guilty, what we're actually bringing in here, what we've talked about time and time again, and that is the child within us. I want, I need, I must have. And remember what we have learned about children. They have very little experience in life, and therefore the decisions that they make are much more self-centered and self-focused without any real understanding of what's going on out there. This was after Memorial Day weekend. I wanted to enjoy myself. I had a program because I saw it online. It said Summer Social Days. I took a look and I said, that's going to be interesting. Let me try it out. Did I need to ask permission? No. But just my asking the question suggests that I had to get permission to do so. Now, from whom did I have to get permission? Oh, me. Now, am I allowed to give myself permission? I think the answer is self-explanatory. Of course I can give myself permission. Do all my behaviors have consequences? Yes, everything is cause and effect. Now, I decide I'm going to go into the water in December, be a polar bear. He thinks it's an exciting idea. He thinks it's a stupid idea. He says, I'm not sure. I want to wait and see after you get out what the story is. Now, since it is polar bear, and we all know what that means, many people understand it, and a lot of people participate. I'm not one of the people who will participate. I hate cold to begin with. Don't even get me close. So if I participate in a polar bear day, is there something wrong with me? And the answer is, based upon historical evidence, there is nothing wrong. I decided to do it, and there is a cause and effect. The same with summer social days. We've been cooped up for over a year. The world is opening up again. And here I am in the midst of the world opening up, and I'm losing weight by doing the AccuWeight program. Now, I'm the one who decided that I want to lose weight. I'm the one who decided I want to do AccuWeight. But I'm also feeling those feelings of, I'm going to call it for me, because that's what my thought is, deprivation. That I'm not going to be able to do and enjoy myself in that way. Now I look online and it says summer social days. And what does that mean? It means if I do that, there will be some kind of outcome. And so I have outcome versus wanting to lose weight. And now I make a decision. The decision I make is that the reason I'm going to do this summer social is because I want to enjoy myself, but I don't want to destroy the progress that I have made. And therefore, I'm going to accept this difference in the food aspect of the program. I will accept the fact that it may slow my weight loss, but based upon the evidence that I have been presented, I will still lose some weight and we can move on. Part of the problem is I heard from some people, Dr. Schwartz, I did my 2 days, and then I did a milk day, and then I did 2 vegetable days, and then I decided to do another social day. Now, here's the key, and this is important. I made that decision. I don't have to answer to anyone but myself. So what we need to focus on and accept is all of us have within us what we've talked about, but we don't really want to look at it and face it and understand it. What's that? There's a child within me, and that child within me wants. It's self-centered. It has no real understanding of life. What it does understand is that when it's taken care of, when it's nurtured, it feels good. And so what are we doing? I chose Saturday and Sunday. They were my summer social days, and I enjoyed myself. I do it in a particular way. I consciously see it as a 1 meal a day day. And generally speaking, for me, when it comes to food, and it is summer, I look forward to the evening. Now, if I'm going to have a 1 meal a day day, then I have it in the evening. And that's exactly what I did. And I also had a glass of wine. I did what we've determined to be important, and that is I drank a full glass of water prior to my having the glass of wine. I enjoyed my glass of wine. I sipped it, and savored it and enjoyed it. And after I had the glass of wine, I had another glass of wine. Now, some of you are going to say, I like to have a glass of wine during the meal. And my answer is, okay, but understand what it is that you're doing. The moment you sip the wine, the alcohol is converted into sugar. The sugar is used for energy. And since you've used the sugar for energy, part of the food is now going to be used to store and build fat. Now, do I have to have my glass of wine with the meal? Am I drinking it like soda? Or do I have a glass of wine because I like how it impacts on me, and I like the taste, and I like the flavor, and it relaxes me? So I'm going to have my glass of wine, but I'm not going to have it during the meal. And after the meal, 45 minutes, an hour later, I had a second glass of wine. I did the same on Sunday. But let me back up. For lunch, knowing that I was going to have dinner, and I perceive it as a one meal a day, for lunch, I just had 2 fruits to get me through, to make me feel like I had something. I could have had a salad, but I chose not to. I had 2 fruits. I got on the scale Monday morning. I was up 2 pounds. I'm not doing the Social Days program, but I did it Saturday and Sunday. And by Wednesday, lo and behold, I was down 3 pounds, meaning I lost the 2 pounds that I had gained, plus an additional pound. And I said to the child who lives within me, enjoy me while I'm having my glass of wine. Look how I feel. I'm enjoying myself. And I chose to do it, and I'm not going to feel guilty. And the reason I'm not going to feel guilty is I made an adult decision. I'm not answerable to anyone, and neither are you. If you're doing the program and you're an adult, if you think you're responsible to someone else, then you're not looking at it properly. The key here is to understand. The more psychological mumbo jumbo that we put into the situation, the more confusing it gets. It's very simple. I'm responsible for me. Do I have people in my life? Do I have relationships with them? Do I have some responsibilities with them? Of course I do. But what you and I are doing right now has nothing to do with them. When I first lost weight, it was because Dr. Chu made sense to me. Now, forget about what my psychological state was at that time. I was burned out, and I was using food for comfort because I didn't know how to deal with the burnout, and I didn't know how to deal with the burnout because I wasn't even aware of the fact that I had burned out. And Dr. Chu said to me, Dr. Schwartz, you cannot be an overweight doctor. And I thought about it, and I said, he's right. And so I went on the program, and I lost in 3 months 84 pounds. And I realized at that point that the issue of control and the issue that is emotional has to do with me living with me. When I get up in the morning, I get up with me. If I like the me that I am, then I'm getting up and I'm going to spend the day with a guy that I really like. If I am playing these games, I know it. And I get up in the morning with a guy whom I'm not so happy with because I know he's playing games and it's me. And the one person I can never escape is me. I can run, I can jump, I can hide. I can't get away from me. So when I talk about summer social days, I'm talking about the adult in me that says, it's summer. I've been locked up for over a year. This is insane. I want to enjoy myself. I want life to begin again. And I want to continue to lose weight. So I'm going to accept something. And this is the important thing. I know what I'm doing, and I do it being fully conscious of what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm accepting the fact that the odds are very high that I will be slowing down my weight loss and I won't be making 15 pounds in 30 days. It'll take longer. And what am I getting for it? I'm getting something that makes me feel good. I'm getting something that's not only good for me, but I realize it's because I'm taking back control of my life. I made the decision to do AccuWeight, and I had every right to make that decision. I didn't anticipate the pandemic. I didn't anticipate all the insanity that goes along with it and the fear and the isolation. The mere fact that all the offices are closed and I've merged into Clark in and of itself is a major change in my life. And that was not done out of choice. It was done because the world exploded. The pandemic occurred, and all of us are impacted by that. Now, the key here is let's start facing some truths. Like, we talk about the magic protocol. Now, the magic protocol is wonderful, but it has pieces. For example, I can't always stop and say, I'm using you as a substitute and go on and do this. So let's make it simple. I know that if you bug me and bug me and bug me and bug me and bug me, I'm going to stop and I'm going to say, all right, already. And I give you a compromise or I give in. And then I feel guilt and remorse. And when I say I feel guilt and remorse, think about that. It's nothing to do with you. It has to do with how I've treated me. And you hear me talking about self-love. Self-love is not selfish. Now hear me. If you don't love you, then your behavior towards you needs to be looked at. Now, I can't help. I can't take out the fact that for 50 plus years I was a psychologist, that I worked with people who had emotional problems and learned to deal with them and hopefully learned to deal with many of my own. But I still have to live with me. And when I like the me that I live with, my whole life is different. You are permitted to make choices. And let's get back. Instead of going through the whole magic protocol, I take 3 Tic Tacs, I shove them in my mouth, I chew down on them, and I'm done. And the reason I'm done is because of the fact that the taste from the Tic Tacs is going to contaminate anything else that I put in my mouth. So what I've done is taken back control of my life. I told you, if you bug me, I'm going to break down. But if I put those candies in my mouth, you can bug me and bug me and bug me and bug me. And even if I break down, I can't break down because I'm going to spit it out because it tastes terrible. Now, all the time, because I've developed something that works for me, and you develop something that works for you, then we go through phase 1 of weight loss and we actually lose the weight. And we feel good about losing the weight because we lost the weight because we did what we had to do. And now let's talk about deprivation. You hear me talk about it all the time. Within the first few hours of life, food was used to comfort me and food was used to comfort you. The power of food and comfort will never go away. It's not a necessity. Food is a necessity. But food and comfort is not a necessity. Feeling good is a necessity. Comfort is a necessity. So why can I not develop behaviors that comfort me and work? And this is the important thing. That child in me wants constantly, it bugs the heck out of me. I tell you the story. I was driving to work and he started to talk to me. This kid who lives inside me. I was going to work. I knew the patient that I was going to see. I had been working very hard with this patient and not making very much progress because the person had dug in their feet and their stubbornness was there and they were not going to change and move. I have an obligation. They're paying me. They're asking me for help. And regardless of the stubbornness and everything else, they keep coming. Now, here is the problem that I had. The voice in me said, you're going to sit there. You could take a placard like yourself, put it in the chair instead of you. You don't even have to be there. And that person is going to do the same thing. They probably won't even know you're not there. And that was one of the most difficult sessions I ever had because he wouldn't shut up. He kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me. That's when Dr. Chu came into my life, and we're not going to go into that now. What's important is that giving up control is the key issue, and knowing we are all vulnerable, we all have weaknesses, that whether it's today or tomorrow, we're going to give in. But if I simply take the Tic Tacs that I have in my pocket, I'm looking, I think I should have them. Oh, I do. Now, I don't have to do anything, and I'm only going to use one now because I have very few left. Here's a Tic Tac. I don't have to say or do anything. I put it in my mouth. I chew down on it. Now, let me tell you, you bring me my favorite food now, I can't eat it. Oh, I could try. Because you put that in my mouth right now, and this is 0 calories, and I've done it consciously because I know I want that cheat. And don't you tell me you don't want that cheat. You know damn well you want it. I want that cheat, but I know if I have that cheat, it's going to block my future of what it is that I really want, because I want the cheat now. But I know in 5 minutes, I'm going to say, why the heck did I do it? So this is the important thing that we have to look at. The child self, the adult self. Now, I have been talking and talking and talking about self-love. Self-love is very simple. And any of you who believe that you're not worthy are messed up. All of us are worthy. A lot of us have experienced things in life that make us believe that we're not lovable. I told you about me. I was a severely learning disabled child and dyslexic. And here I am sitting before you today, and it's Dr. Schwartz. I'm a miracle. And the reason I'm a miracle had nothing to do with me. It had to do with the fact that some female teachers along the way, for whatever the reason was, took pity on me and protected me until I overcame the problem. Now, that kind of experience makes you believe that you're not lovable. People make fun of you, or they did of me. People called me names. So I was not physically, but I was emotionally abused. But here I am today because I found out something. And what I found out is if I control me and do something to block those weak moments, then I can act and be the me that I like being with. And I sit here today talking to you because whether you understand this or not, when I help any one of you, it fills me. It's the reason I'm here. It's the reason I do this. I can't think of anything that feels better than helping you learn to fall back in love with the you that deserves to be loved. And it's very easy to do if we accept certain simple things. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. But I can also think and recognize that how many times in my life, how many times in your life have you made a mistake and you grew because you accepted the fact that you made the mistake? And I think it was Edison who said it. Every mistake that I make is a step toward reaching my goal. Because if I pay attention, I'm not going to make that mistake again. You have the ability to grow and focus on yourself and recognize that how is it possible to be selfish if you don't have a self? Or if we put narcissism aside, if I love me, if I like the person that I am, think about how it impacts on my relationship with the rest of the world. I'm going to walk around interacting with people, doing things, knowing that I'm happy with what it is that I'm doing because I'm doing it because it makes me feel good, not makes me feel good because it makes me superior to you or something of that regard. Now, I also know that the child in me is not going to give up. And those of you who have children, particularly adolescents, hi, Yvonne, and particularly those who have adolescents, they push and they push and they push and they push. Why? Because they don't understand yet the boundaries. And if you don't set boundaries, they push further. And some of them get into trouble because they don't let themselves create boundaries on an understanding level. The key here is the child within you is the one who brings you joy. Do you realize the fact that if all of us destroyed the child within us, all of the joy would go out of our lives? When have you ever seen an adult? Ever? When have you ever seen an adult having fun? Okay, really having fun. When have you ever seen an adult having fun who was not behaving as though they were a child? Only children have the capacity to be fun. So love that child within you, but set limits on it. Be grateful that that child is there, causing you to pay attention. Now, summer social days. Let's go over it again. I want to have some enjoyment this summer. The world is opening up. I'm willing to accept the fact that I will lose less than 15 pounds every month. So I have to say in myself, I'm ready to accept that. Now, I'm going to use the summer social days to my own benefit. So the only thing I need to be cautious about is overdoing it. One of the things that many people have as weaknesses is the fact that they do it, they like it, now they have the need to do it again. It's difficult to wait. So I did it yesterday, I got away with it. Well, I didn't do it today, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And I end up over determining the situation. And who am I punishing? Now, understanding that is why I say we have to create our own magic protocols. The one that I've given you works. And the reason it works, it makes you conscious of the fact that you are in charge, you are responsible, you know what you're doing, and what you are doing is forcing the reality around you to limit your acting out behavior. The moment you put the candy in your mouth, whether you say and verbalize or not, which is something I push all the time, but the moment you put that candy in your mouth, you've taken control because you accepted the fact that you have a weakness, you may break down, but now you've prevented yourself from breaking down. So who's in charge? Who's the boss? Why did you make that decision? Is it good for you? Do you like yourself for it? And that's the important thing. When I do that, I get a kick out of it. It's sort of like a game because I know what it is that I'm doing. And I don't know about any of you, but I've tested it out. I've consciously tried to cheat after putting Dr. John's lollipops in my mouth. And I can't because the taste of the lollipops contaminates the taste of the cheat. Now, I laugh because when it works, it's like validating that I know that it works, but yet I want to push it to a point so I can sit back and say, how did I do today? Now, if I can say I had a good day because of what my behavior is, and I continue to do that, I'm going to reach my goal. Maybe I'll reach it a little bit more slowly if I use the summer days, but think of the other benefits that I'm getting. And remember something. You're going to be done with AccuWeight when you get to your goal. And look at what you will have learned. You haven't learned to live with food. First, you've learned to live without food, to comfort yourself, to take care of yourself, to love yourself, to like the self that you are because of how you behave towards yourself. And the truth is, if you don't come first in your own life, it's hard to trust anything else. I became a psychologist. It took me years to get over the fact that I disappointed my dad. My dad was a dentist. He wanted in his mind a sign that said Dr. Schwartz and Son. And I tried, but my head wasn't there. I tried, but my head wasn't there. And so I took a different path. We never talked about it, but I know he was hurt. That bothered me. It still bothers me. But you know something? I did what was appropriate. I made me first. Not the best, first in my own life. I'd like to continue these discussions down the line. I hope to see you again soon. Remember, I'm in the Clark office now Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you'd like an appointment with me, it's by calling up and making an appointment. I'm there from 10:30 in the morning until 7:45 at night by appointment. And we can also do the program remotely using the AcuPoint Finder. And I'm just excited because we've finally, we were patent pending, but we now have a utility patent, 11 million something or other, and that's really exciting. Thanks for listening, and I hope I can push the right buttons to disconnect. Take care. Hello. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. The picture just showed up again. Just a minute.